So there's the light pattern here on a fence, and you can see that the cutoff is a little bit jagged over here. That is intended to have a shadow that lines up on the oncoming lane on the left side of the road, basically. So there's the high beams, there's the low beams, and I'm going to turn on the automatic high beams because they seem to work well, so we'll go ahead and give them a try. The heads-up display works really good. The camera system works really good. The rear view camera also works really good. Pretty much, Hyundai and Kia basically almost always, they have a lot of features, but the features actually work. So it's very enjoyable to drive a vehicle that have features that work, you know, not just piling on features and then they're buggy or they're problematic and then you wind up not using them. Okay, so we're going to force it to go to low beams right now because I want to show you on the road, on the oncoming lane, right here, you can see as we dip down this little bit of a hill, you can see there's a shadow on the oncoming lane. Hopefully you can see that right in there. There's a shadow, so and it's lined up perfectly. So when we're going up and down these little hills right here, that little bit of a shadow area helps out with not blinding other people. Also, if the road's wet, then it won't, you know, create a glare and reflect in people's faces. That's another kind of secondary thing. But yeah, it seems like the low beams, the cutoff is adjusted right on this vehicle. Some vehicles, they come in and the shadow's way in the middle of my lane and not the other lane. Or it's just, you know, not done right from the factory, but that's what happens sometimes. But this one looks good. This one looks real good. So we'll stay in low beams until we can have this dark road down here. See what the high beams look like. So we still have low beams, and the low beams look really good. I mean, they do a good job of eliminating the sides of the road and everything. Okay, so let's go to high beams. Yeah, I can see those trees. Well, we're gonna go back. Low beams. All right, high beams. Yep, I can see the trees in the distance. There's not any significant patchiness to the lights, since there's so many different separate projector lights. They overlap enough. And there's a lot of light. I mean, it's pretty bright. I mean, I can see those trees in the far distance on these with these high beams. There's also not too much of a disconnect between the high and low beams. It's the separate lights that turn on. They tend to blend well and give me a lot of light there in the front. The distance is good. The illumination on the sides of the road is excellent. Yeah, so there's the low beams there. And there's the high beams. Yeah, all these trees are illuminated. Even the ones in the far distance, they're getting that projection of light is really, really good. I'm able to see well. And the trees are far off the road on this road. And that's intentional. So that way you get the, you know, because it's real easy to make headlights look good if there's a lot of things up close to the headlights. The challenge is when you have like a great distance for the lights to travel, and then you can see where basically the headlights kind of fade out. So having this road where you can have things off the road. So now we have these railings. You can see how when they're real close, you can see the lights very bright and shining on the railing and all that stuff. But that's not going to give you, pretty much any headlights will look good up close. It's the far distance that you want to really pay attention to. The height is pretty good on these too, and that helps out with hills. You're going up and down hills, the height of the headlight works well when it has a little bit extra height. So it has good height. Pretty much everything about these headlights is good. These aren't like super wow headlights, but they are just well done, especially for electric car. You know, I mean, you can't have overly extra electricity just having the headlights on, so you have to have efficiency with the headlights. And in this case, we have great headlights, and they're efficient for the vehicle. They're not going to, drain your battery as much as, inefficient headlights, basically. And so yeah, I think they're great.